This is Channel 25 WVTT Olean. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, this is the 6 o'clock report with Jeff Andrulonis and Alexa Olson. Listen on News Radio 96.7 WVTT or watch on News Channel 25 WVTT television. WVTT proudly presents the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Andrulonis. Good evening. The big story tonight on the 6 o'clock report. Less than 24 hours until polls open across the nation to determine who will spend the next 4 years in the White House. Standing by live in the WVTT Digital News Center is Valerie Tysaner with a look at election 2012. Valerie, what's the latest?
Well, Jeff, the congressional race in our district this year is actually mirroring the national election. It's going to be very close.
We're coming back. We're going to keep America the hope of the earth with your help.
One day left until Election Day, and national polls are showing President Obama and Governor Romney in a dead heat. But a nor'easter storm is coming, which could make voting difficult for some Americans. It's projected to hit parts of New York and New Jersey that were heavily hit by Hurricane Sandy. And this could cause an especially low voter turnout in those areas. It might not affect the Electoral College count because Sandy hit heavily Democratic states, but it could lower national vote totals. That means the president could win re-election without actually having the most votes. In Western New York, elections will be just as competitive. Representative Tom Reed and Democratic challenger Nate Shinagawa are still dueling it out.
The people go into Washington and they see each other as enemies rather than colleagues.
In the last few weeks alone, they've had 3 debates, sometimes getting very aggressive.
Yeah, I am proud of our bipartisan record in the last 2 years. Guys, Nate, did you pack them? How much you paid these guys to be here tonight?
The two candidates have starkly different views on everything from health care to government spending.
You got to tackle this debt because it's causing so much uncertainty. The $16 trillion, and it's all because of a spending problem in Washington, D.C.
Now, what the congressman has just talked about is developing a business climate that only benefits the biggest corporations, many of them who are already getting incentives, and even more incentives that the congressman has voted for, by the way, to ship jobs overseas.
It will be a close race tomorrow, but Representative Reed says he believes the constituents will make the right choice.
It's up to the people, and it should be up to the people, and we're very hopeful, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how it turns out on tomorrow night.
But both Representative Reed and Nate Shinagawa was unable to comment because he was at a speaking engagement this afternoon. We will have more tomorrow when we speak with him live after the election. Live from the WVTT Digital News Center, I'm Valerie Tysaner. Jeff, back to you.
Thanks very much, Valerie. Remember, WVTT will have complete election 2012 coverage, simulcast both here on WVTT television and on our radio station, News Radio 96.7 WVTT. Our live, full wall-to-wall election coverage begins at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Once again, that's on Channel 25 and also on the radio at 96.7 FM.
Well, Jeff, a young boy who thought he was just going to the dentist for a checkup is now recovering at Olean General Hospital tonight after being hit by a car. It was a scary morning for a mother of a 9-year-old boy. She had just arrived to meet her son and her son's father at the dentist, and as soon as the boy saw his mother, he ran across the street and was hit by Teresa Raftis. Raftis was driving down Lawrence Street when the boy darted in front of her. He was hit by her vehicle and was thrown forward, according to authorities. When they arrived at the scene, they believed the boy had suffered a broken leg and had some noticeable road rash, but luckily nothing life-threatening. There have been no charges filed, but a neighbor who had heard the commotion called her city alderman to get something done about that very intersection.
There have been actually quite a few accidents here. In fact, I was in one and my car was totaled. I was an orthodontist across the street. Lots of kids are going there. With all the accidents that have been here on this corner, I just think there should be a 4-way stop.
The city of Olean is looking to beef up their snow shoveler list this year. Each year since 2009, the Olean Mayor's Office has compiled a list of volunteers helping agencies and contractors who shovel snow. WVTT spoke with Olean Mayor Linda Witt, who explained who benefits from this service.
We just want to try and prevent our seniors from falling, getting hurt. The last couple years we've been blessed to have young people from different schools kind of sign up to volunteer. And what they do is they just go shovel. They don't get paid. It's a volunteer basis. And hopefully we'll have a mild winter and won't have to worry about it.
Well, if you can't keep your sidewalks clear, you can contact the mayor's office to get a list of names and numbers of people who can perform the snow shoveling service.
According to authorities, Western New York has been a gateway to a huge drug operation that has been going on for the past couple of years. That operation contributed to one of the biggest cocaine rings authorities say they've ever seen. Earlier this year, $30 million worth of cocaine was seized, and according to Canadian authorities, a web of drug lords who'd been smuggling in drugs across the border have now been arrested. A successful operation, they say, will significantly stop the organized crime ring that traffics close to $2 billion of cocaine a year. That's according to authorities. The rest were part of an undercover drug bust called Project Inc., and the operation was finally deemed successful by the Joint Task Force of Canadian and U.S. law enforcement on Friday.
Jamestown police tonight say they have a suspect behind bars charged with almost a countless number of burglaries in the city of Jamestown. He's 19-year-old Wanye Wright, the third allegedly committing several break-in attempts, in one of which a handgun was allegedly stolen. According to the Cattaraugus County Police, Wright is also facing charges here in Cat County for probation violation. If you have any more information, you're asked to contact either Cat County Sheriff's Office or police in Jamestown.
A teenager is facing 2 charges of grand larceny after being arrested back on Thursday by Cattaraugus County Sheriff's deputies. 16-year-old Dylan Davis from Randolph, New York is charged with allegedly stealing 2 cars in the town of Randolph. He is being held in the Cattaraugus County Jail on $5,000 bail.
A hearing has been scheduled for the man who allegedly shot and killed Clymer School Superintendent Keith Reed Jr. Anthony Taglianetti is slated to appear at an extradition hearing on December 21st in Prince William County, Virginia. Officials say there is a possibility he could be back in New York before then.
A nun faces grand larceny charges tonight after allegedly stealing more than $100,000 from 2 Western New York churches. According to the Buffalo News, Sister Mary Ann Rapp stole the money from 2 Catholic churches in the town of Holly and Kendall, in 2 parishes between Buffalo and Rochester. She is scheduled to appear in town of Kendall court tonight to face the charges. No other details have been released at this time.
Over the weekend, Governor Andrew Cuomo announced that New York State received almost $28 million in federal disaster national emergency grant funds. The grant will be used to hire workers who lost their jobs as a direct result of Hurricane Sandy. That's a way to help clean up impacted communities.
Now, Jeff, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo also has directed that flags on state and government buildings to be flown at half-staff on Wednesday, November 7th, in honor of 3 United States Army Reserve soldiers from New York who died in Afghanistan on November 3rd. Military officials say that 27-year-old Army Specialist Brett E. Gunutsky of Alden was one of those 3 soldiers killed November 3rd when their unit was hit with an IED.
Thanks, Alexa. St. Bonaventure University tonight preparing to host an interfaith service. Leaders from numerous faiths praying for wisdom and guidance for the country before Election Day. Representatives of the Jewish, Muslim, Methodist, Buddhist, Hindu, and Catholic faiths are among those planning to attend. The service will be held tonight, and the public is invited to attend. Coming up on the 6 o'clock report, our first look at weather and also our global news roundup on the way next here on News Channel 25 WVTT.